the proceeding. Please. So,
Thank
ladies
you.
and gentlemen, we are going to be beginning now, and definitely Mrs. Guptu's out there. So, please, over to you.
Hello and good evening. On behalf of Calcutta Management Association, CMA, I welcome you all to the first session of Conversations. CMA has been very busy over the last 2 months, bringing to you a series of webinars on leadership in turbulent times. It featured industry stalwarts and knowledge powerhouses such as Mr. R. Gopalakrishnan, Mr. Harsh Neotia, Mr. Mohandas Pai, among others. It has been our endeavor to host contemporary and relevant topics and bring to you a platform for addressing your concerns and issues. Today, we start a new series, CMA Conversations, and we have two men with amazing golden voices, voices that enthrall us every day and paint a beautiful world for us through their words. It gives me great pleasure in welcoming our guest, one of the best known personalities in entertainment industry. Just one name, MIR, and any introduction will fall short. What started off as a passion for radio has today gone beyond a profession to being an industry unto itself. Spanning 25 years plus in radio programming, MIR is one of the most popular FM radio jockeys in India. His involvement with the brand's communication nationwide has seen the brand Mirchi get recognized at advertising, communication, and marketing events. A multifaceted personality, we have seen him as a television newscaster way back in 1998. Mir is the lead vocalist of a band called Bandage. Simultaneously, he has been presenting his very own brand, Miracle, on Zee Bangla for the last 14 years and 9 seasons. He often dabbles as a scriptwriter for commercials and programs with equal success. And who can forget him as Bhutoria in Bhuter Bhovishyat? When he's not busy anchoring, Mir nurtures young minds on radio and TV presentation. He is truly an inspiration and idol for many. Welcome to CMA Conversations, Mir. Mir will be engaged in conversation by Jimmy Tangree, the
Thank you, ma'am.
radio
Thank
man.
you very much.
Jimmy Tangree, the radio man who engages and touches lives through the medium. Jimmy is rooted to Calcutta, more to Park Street, I would say. An alumnus from St. Xavier's, his love for music got him to DJing since 1983 and radio since 1994. With over 37 years in this entertainment industry, Jimmy is an icon. He has headed operations for some premium radio stations over the years. Currently, he heads 91.9 Friends FM. Jimmy is also a member of CMA's executive committee. Over to the honey-laced voice, Jimmy Tangree. Let the good times begin. Over to you, Jimmy.
Absolutely. So, thank you so much for the amazing introduction. I think you've said it all. So it's going to be very difficult for me to introduce Mir, but I just like to tell everyone, I'm going to be in conversation with an amazing guy, and let me put it. I've been with Mir from the inception when we kind of were in radio together, and he's a self-made man. Those days, there was no one to really teach us, guide us, show us the equipment. But yes, we had all the support and the help. And to start off with me, a warm welcome to you on the first edition of Conversations. I'm
Thank
sure
you, Jimmy.
we're going to have more than conversations. Okay, we're going to have a lot of explorations also between ourselves. Before I really get down to a current situation and a current scenario, all of us have dreams when we are in school. All of us have dreams when we are young. What was your dream when you were in school? I mean, what did you really want to become? And honestly, how did this spark or fire start off? What made you or what got you to get into radio, which was your first love?
Uh, Firstly, thank you so much, Jimmy, for leading this conversation. in the first season of Conversations. Uh, I would also like to thank Calcutta Management Association for organizing this today. And this is what we are into right now, which we shall explain in detail as to what impact it would have on the entertainment industry. But as a school going boy, I used to dream of doing something where I would be using my vocabulary, I would be using the gift of the gab, talking to people, communicating with people. I was a very reticent kid and I would seldom get up on stage and perform in school. But I used to listen to voices primarily because I didn't have television at home. So I would rather listen to the radio. And I used to listen to the legend Amin Sayani and wonder if I were given an opportunity and if I was on the mic, what would I be saying in place of this person whom I'm hearing? And it used to happen with every radio presenter that I used to listen in. And I used to wonder what would it be like to be in a radio studio, to talk on radio. And I used to write into a lot of radio shows at that point of time at Akashvani and Vivid Bharati. None of my letters got answered, though. That was a sad part of my life. But I used to grow this inside that I wanted to do something on radio, and it happened quite by chance that in '94 when FM started in Kolkata, I was in my first year of college, and at that point of time, my parents were pretty adamant that I complete my education and then go on to something else. For them, taking up an additional responsibility such as radio was a little risky, was a little dangerous. But then I somehow convinced them, and I got into the profession where I got to meet you. And we both started radio together, and we've seen so many days together where I have hopped onto your bike, you have dropped me to the studio, you have taken me to the studio, I have assisted your show. There have been such wonderful memories where there was one important element which stands out even today, and it's called less is more. This is the element which we are currently going through, where we have to suffice with less. At that point of time, we didn't have too many gadgets. We used to do most of the stuff manually. We even used to play our ads out, our commercials out manually, and we used to wait for things to happen. Nothing was so automated as it is today, and we learned it the hard way. Similarly, people who have worked before us, they would also say that we've worked in tougher times. We have done everything all by ourselves. We've edited our shows. We've produced our programs. So it's all a step-by-step process. But today, when we stand at the threshold of something absolutely new, something that has hit us in our faces, uh, what stands out is this concept of less being more. The lesser we have, it looks like it's more at our disposal. And I think this is something which we need to get used to very, very soon. Jimmy.
Absolutely. Rightly said. I think all of us actually learned the tough way, as I said in the beginning. There was no one to teach us. There was no high tech equipment. I still remember we used to take our audio cassette CDs and go and play it out. So we had to do everything ourselves. Rightly said, today is totally automated. Things are so easy. But at the current moment, there is less. And when we have less in front of us, we turn up doing more, we turn up turning more, we turn up reinventing ourselves, we rediscovering ourselves, and wonder how to actually carry on, with life being a little different. So, Mir, coming to the point of today, you are I would let me put it, you are a mega artist. You're not just a radio personality. You are into television. You are into serials. You are into movies. You are into anchoring. Okay. And you, of course, have your own band, which I'm sure you started with a couple of people, which is always rocking. Now, in this lockdown state, being locked, around four walls, how are you managing? Because all of a sudden, what you used to religiously do every day, and it really had no time to even come home on time and to family at home. Times were erratic. You used to leave in the morning, come back late in the night. Sometimes they never used to see your face. But today, you are all locked in. You are seeing each other's faces every minute, every hour, engaging, interacting with some beautiful moments, I'm sure. So, as a showbiz personality, how is the lockdown affecting you?
I think I'll describe the positive part first, because we all know
Absolutely.
about the other effects, that it's very depressing. It is very boring. It is very tedious at times, and trying to do the things that you would normally do in your normal workspace, trying to adjust and find alternative work areas for that is a little difficult. It's almost like asking your mother to cook in the drawing room instead of the kitchen. For us, for many of us who are working in various fields, it is a similar situation. If you're asked to work from home, it's kind of very, very similar. Now, coming back to the positive part, I think all our families, and irrespective of whichever profession we belong to, they have been wanting quality time from every family member who belongs to the working field. And we used to complain that work pressure takes us away from our families. Now, here is an opportunity which we have been utilizing for the last 55 days roughly, since the national lockdown was first announced. And we are gelling, we are bonding, we are interacting with our families more, which I think is a major plus, is a major bonus. Another thing, Jimmy, which I think for performing artists is a very important aspect, is that we were not finding the time to stop, review, and plan. It's because you're almost going under a domino effect. One thing is leading to another, one assignment jumps into another, one project ends and the next one starts in no time. And you hardly have time to review yourself. You hardly have time to reassess yourself. This was a time which I guess most of us have utilized, where we have paused, we have stopped, and we have thought about so many years, and what have we been achieving. A great way of reviewing our work life as well. This is something which we got as a bonus, and I think that is the major positive for all of us, no matter which profession we are in, is to pause and think and re-strategize. Now is the time to re-strategize. The more you re-strategize and the better you do it, I think the more longevity you would be adding to your respective careers.
Absolutely. I think a lot of us are looking at the new you. A lot of us are looking at, I would give it the three-word mantra, which I've been saying for the last 4 weeks: reimagine, re innovate, and reboot.
Absolutely.
So that we can come up. uh, I'm not saying you change your cells and become uh, X to a Y, but I think you better yourself as a human being. I think there's a need for more closeness, more warmth, more rediscovering. And I think, after all, I think we should all respect each other. We should respect nature. We should know how to live alongside. And I think the entire environment of living, understanding, reimagining is going to change as the lockdown opens up. And I'm sure even in the work culture, how we sit, how we move, how we discuss, how we move forward in terms of ideating, everything is going to change. So, Mir, do you feel that you have rediscovered yourself staying at home? Have you been doing something new? That I know a lot of honchos who say that they've been sweeping the floors, cooking food, playing Ludo, playing Monopoly. So have you been doing something hatke, alag tarika se, or Mir is Mir in the same way, just enjoying those beautiful moments and rediscovering yourself?
Jimmy, helping out with household chores
Uh,
is not new to me. Yeah, can you hear me, Jimmy? Right.
yeah, just
Sorry.
you went.
So working out, yes. So helping out with household chores, I think, is something which doesn't need to be glamorized in a big way. I mean, we all should be doing it.
Yes.
And gone are the days when you would isolate as saying that men should be doing these kind of jobs or women should be doing these kind of jobs. We're all in a composite unit and we're all contributing to each other. We have bread earners equally in women as well. So men and women are literally जिसको कहते हैं कंधा से कंधा मिला के we're working to make a family, to make our system run. So all that is there. It's part of the entire thing. But yes, I've calmed down as a person. Previously, I used to be very anxious. Previously, I used to uh, probably not think so much before taking a particular decision. the last 50 days or so have made me give a lot more time to my thought processes, where I can sit down, think about what I want to do, and then plan and accordingly execute. This is something which this lockdown has definitely contributed. I've been reading up a lot, something which I have been wanting to do so for a long, long time. That is something which I have restarted. I've started reading a lot. Unfortunately, we're not without our mobile phones. We have to be connected through our mobiles, and that is currently our window to the world. The internet is the window. I wish we could isolate that as well. We could keep that aside. But having said that, I think we've got back to our books. We've got back to staying with our children, observing them. We generally wouldn't get an opportunity to see them in school. And now there is an opportunity where they are doing their online classes. So they're right there in front of you. And a lot of guidance that you would have uh, usually given your children in other times, here is absolutely first hand, where you can spend time with your children and your loved ones, which I think is a big bonus. I have rediscovered my relationship with my daughter. I must add
Oh
that.
wow. So it's more into a lot of family stuff, and I think
Yeah.
that's a beautiful moment. We used to always crib about yaar chutti nahi milta, time nahi mil raha. We've got about 2 months of holiday time with family, literally. Where we are all locked indoors. I think these are beautiful moments where we rediscover closeness, we rediscover warmth, we rediscover our positivity and our negativity, we rediscover ourselves. I think to become better human beings. And I think that's what's important. Amazing, Mir. All the warm-hearted closeness we can see in you. Definitely very unlike when you're anchoring on stage with those naughty quips of yours, and where there's another Mir in place where he actually puns it so beautifully. I'm sure you must be making everybody turn red face. Okay, talking about red face, in your career, I mean, it's an amazing span. You've actually had your fingers into a lot of showbiz pies. As I said, television, radio, serials, movies, anchoring, stand-up comedy, and of course, being a singer and a performer with your band Bondage. Anything in these long years, any embarrassing moment which you've come across, which you will never forget. There are a lot of things in life where in our showbiz careers, radio, whatever, we actually come across something. Those embarrassing moments can be a very positive moment. Those embarrassing moments can be a red face turning moment. So anything which you will never forget, or maybe two things you'll never forget.
There's one particular incident, Jimmy, which I will always remember, and it has a lesson as well. There was this incident at Science City Auditorium, and I was hosting one of my shows. I think this was early in '96 or '97, and we had this event, and I had to introduce someone on stage, probably the CEO or the group head of that particular company for which I was hosting the show, and just seconds before I was to call upon this gentleman on stage for his speech, I completely forgot his name and his designation. So it was very embarrassing. And I'm trying to recollect, I'm trying to remember. I've like just met this person backstage and I was just introduced. I should be recollecting, but somehow the wires were not connecting. So I did something right there, which actually saved my life on stage. So I walked up to the edge of the stage, pointed at the gentleman, waved at him with my hand, and I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, may I now introduce the person who needs no introduction?" So he knew he was on cue. He knew that he was supposed to come on stage and deliver his speech. So he was absolutely fine. And everybody else in the company also knew him. So they were also absolutely fine. So he walked on stage. The time he took to walk on stage, I quickly went backstage, got his name and designation, and then ultimately my life was saved. But the lesson which I learned from this particular incident was to, for us, where we didn't use our mobile phones those days, this is like 96, 97, was to always write down what you're about to do on stage. That written
Yes,
word
write
is
it down.
so
Always keep it
essential.
ready.
You take a piece of paper, you write it down. Even I have this notebook right here in front of me, so that if I have a point in mind, I can write it down quickly, I can scribble it down so I don't forget. Which I think for all communicators today, we're in the habit of typing. We've probably forgotten how our handwriting looks like.
Oh,
We
pathetic.
all the time, we constantly typing, and we don't use anything other than our checkbooks for writing purposes. Everything else is all typed in. So this was a lesson for me to write down whatever information I had to give out on stage as an anchor, as an MC. This was one moment which I will never forget. It almost killed me on stage. Embarrassing, very embarrassing.
Wow, that's amazing. But now these days we don't even write checkbooks. It's all on net banking.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're getting out of
absolutely.
that also. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we actually sit down and write, sometimes we can't read our own handwriting. It's such a state of affairs. But life goes on. And talking about a personality you are, still you look hot, happening,
Oh,
handsome.
thank you.
I heard when you go on stage, a lot of women collapse in the audience. And it's carrying on over the years. Uh, I'm just curious. I'm sure you've had a lot of ladies, a lot of girls earlier, now also falling in love with you, going crazy over you. So, I mean, what was the magic, or how did it happen that you discovered the love of your life? I mean, Mir in those days, suddenly having lakhs and thousands of fans, mostly women, suddenly gets hooked up with this beautiful girl. I mean, what was the magic behind that connection? Whether it be radio, whether it be voice, whether it be smartness on stage, or whether it just be the nice, sweet Mir.
Uh, Incidentally, today is my anniversary. It's the
Hey,
16th of
okay, okay,
May.
hold on. I think everybody, I know all of y'all are muted, but please put your hands together and let's give Mir a clap for his
Thank you.
anniversary.
Thank you.
Anniversary, Mir.
So, thank you, Jimmy. It's been 25 years. You've seen this happening right there in front of you. Uh, my wife, Dr. Soma Bhattacharjee, Soma was then a student in the final year, in her final year at NRS Medical College. And she wrote into your show. She wrote into Britannia Little Hearts, Love is on the Air. And I just can't dissociate the sponsor name. It's so much into the entire phrase, Britannia Little Hearts, Love is on the Air. And she wrote into Jimmy's show and she dedicated a song to me. And those days in 94, we used to work for a radio station called Times FM. And at that point of time, there was a film festival which was organized for children.
At
So
Globe
it
Cinema.
was at Globe Cinema Hall. And she came to meet me at Globe Cinema Hall on the 16th of May,
Oh,
way
wow.
back in the year 1995. So that was the first time I met her. Thank you so much for all you guys who are wishing me on my anniversary. Yeah, it's a great day. And the day we locked today's date, the 16th of May, I was wondering to myself, okay, I am going to be in conversation with Jimmy, who practically knows everything about my personal life and the way my wife and I have been together. We are actually together for 25 years. We met in 95. So in 2020, we've completed 25 years of knowing each other. And it's a great bond. We have a lovely daughter amidst us. And it's great. It's great. And Jimmy, you've seen it all right from the start. And it's absolutely wonderful that we're still going strong.
Absolutely. Amazingly wonderful. And what a beautiful beginning to your career. 25, 26 years in radio and 25 years of being with your wife and knowing your wife. I think, somewhere or other, the magic evolved with radio and the connection
Yes.
evolved with radio, something which very few showbiz people, kind of connect with. Either it's an arranged marriage or you go outside, you meet someone. But this was truly a radio connection which worked. Amazing, Mir. It's so wonderful hearing your thoughts on that. Okay, now I'm going to just give a couple of questions. I'm going to hit out to you. Okay, and I want
Yes.
you to just spontaneously put it out. What's your best
Sure.
dish?
Sorry, Jimmy, I lost you.
What's
What's
your
my
best
best?
dish? Food. What's the
Okay,
best
it's
thing
it's 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 biryani. Uh, Number one is biryani. Number two is biryani. Number three is also biryani. So it's biryani all the way. If I'm like if a gun is put to my head and I'm asked to give up everything for one particular dish in life, it has to be biryani. I can give up a lot of things for biryani. So
Wow,
that will always remain my all-time favorite.
you've got a smile on your face. Okay, what's your favorite song?
My favorite song is uh, lots of them actually. Offhand, it's Happy Birthday. I mean, this is the best song where you want to listen to it almost every single day. I hate it when it's not your birthday. I hate wishing other people on their birthdays because I feel jealous. So I think Happy Birthday needs to be one of my favorite songs. Apart from that, of course, despite the risk of sounding overtly patriotic, but Jana Gana Mana is definitely one favorite song. It gives me goosebumps whenever played or sung.
Okay, now the third song which you sing. What's your favorite song you sing? I'm
What's
sure
my
you
favorite song
one day
I
you're
sing?
rocking on stage with the mic and your voice. So what's your favorite song you love singing on stage?
I actually love singing "Phoolon ke Rang Se Dil ke Kalam Se Tujhko Likhi Roz Paati." It's a song from Prem Pujari. It's a Kishore Kumar song,
Great.
picturized on
Mir,
Devanand.
Mir, Mir,
I
Mir,
love
Mir,
that song.
Mir, Mir. You love that song, and we want you to give a couple of lines for us live right here on Zoom, which is going on, also streaming live on YouTube. Just your unplugged, absolute couple of line session on Zoom for CMA and for the beautiful audience you have here today.
फूलों के रंग से दिल की कलम से तुझको लिखी रोज पाती कैसे बताऊं किस किस तरह से पल पल मुझे तू सताती तेरे ही सपने लेकर के सोया तेरी ही यादों में जागा तेरे ख्यालों में उलझा रहा यूं जैसे कि माला में धागा बादल बिजली चंदन पानी जैसा अपना प्यार लेना होगा जन्म हमें कई कई बार.
Wow, that
Thank
was
you.
really, really amazing. And I'm just
Thank you.
curious, did you ever sing to Soma before tying the knot or after tying the knot?
Yeah, loads of times I've kind of tried to woo her in so many ways. And 16th May 95 to 16th May 2020, she's had to tolerate a lot of stuff. Apart from that, it's also my bad singing and everything put together. But she's a sweet lady, very very tolerant, and I think she loves me the way I am.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think she's an amazing person, so down to earth, so simple, so homely, and so loving. Very, very, you know what? She's the one who's very quiet and behind the scenes. And you are the iconic
Yeah.
in the scenes. You know, it's like a North Pole and South Pole. So tell me one thing, she being a doctor and you being a showbiz person, when you're in action, of course, before the lockdown and going to be a post the lockdown, how would you all manage? Because she's also a doctor who's required to be on call many a time 24/7. And you also in showbiz time, coming back at 2, 1, whatever time in the night. So how do you all manage to bring in so much of closeness, love, and affection?
I think the most important ingredient of a relationship would be respect for each other. It's to understand that though your inner self would constantly be telling you that you're the most important element in this world, we sometimes forget that there are other aspects in our lives as well. There are people around us, the people who constitute our life, our careers. And as I truly acknowledge the contribution of my wife, my career, I wouldn't have been in this particular place had I not been married to Soma. And there's a lot which she has contributed to, as in holding on to the family, taking care of the family. But the most important ingredient, I would say, the most important masala in any particular marriage or alliance, even if it's not marriage per se, is mutual respect. You have to understand that the other person too has a life, the other person too has a career to take care of. And his or her work is equally important to that person, to society, to the people around him or her. This mutual respect needs to be there, otherwise it doesn't quite get along, where we tend to get separated and we tend to feel that whatever I'm doing is the most important element in this world, and the other person can wait. You will you will put
Beer, I
to a
think
time
your
somebody
voice is getting a little
else
stuck.
sacrificing a lot will be
Mir, just hold on, hold on. The network is kind of freezing you.
now.
Uh, wait for a little bit. Your video is frozen. Just give it a little time. Just a little bit. Wait.
Sure.
Hello, Mir, you're frozen up. Can you hear me? Wait, just give it a little time. It'll stabilize it. Okay, okay, you're back. Great. So tell us, start from where you stopped.
So that we need to have mutual respect. I think it's about marriage. It's about an alliance. Two people in a relationship coming together, having respect for each other's work. You have to get out of this realm, this sphere. You keep thinking that your work is the most important in the world. There are other people who are working for you. You need to give them time as well. You need to understand that they are equally important to them. Soma and I have been able to do this for each other, which is why we've been cracking it mostly by now.
Okay, amazing. Today, 25 years together. And I have a small request for you. You're at home, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Mir. Is it possible? I'm sure your wife and daughter are also there.
Yes, they are there. They're here.
Please, we would love to give them a big shout out and a big hi on these 25 years of togetherness. Could you bring them on screen too, if possible?
I'll try. I'll try. Probably have just get out of the room for 10 seconds, and then
Do it,
I'll be
please.
back.
No, no
Meanwhile,
issue.
Jimmy, if you can take
Rockstar,
a
do it.
question.
Do it, Rockstar. Do it,
Okay,
please.
fine.
Well, folks, while
So
Mir is getting his
I'm
wife and daughter to
doing a
join us.
webinar with Jimmy. So Jimmy wants to congratulate us. Like, Rajbhai, there is a webinar which is going on. CMA, Calcutta Management Association. Please come. Just here. No problem. You can just say
Don't
hi.
worry. Shoma,
Yeah, you can just.
hi, Shoma. How are
So,
you? A big congratulations from all of
can
us
you hear them?
at CMA, at the webinar.
Hi.
And congratulations, 25 years. He was recounting
Oh,
it, and he was also recounting the Children's Film Festival at Globe Cinema, and plus he was recounting 25 years together.
okay.
Mir, where's the daughter?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just get her. I'll just
I
get
want
her.
all three of you all together. I want all three of you all together. You know,
Yeah,
it's
she's just here. She's just standing behind me.
okay.
So I'll just try and
These
get
are
her.
the
Muskan, can we have you here, please? Just quickly. Come. Okay. So that's Muskan.
hey
We're just
Muskan,
doing this live chat.
great. Muskan, stay there.
Okay.
Okay, now
So we will just
get
review
Shoma in
together.
also. Get Shoma in also. I want all
Soma,
together.
Soma. Okay. Sorry, we're doing this impromptu. We didn't have any plans of doing this, so we're just doing this impromptu.
Chill.
Uh, Currently, Soma. Okay, I think she's gone into a call or something, Jimmy.
Okay, okay.
So we'll just continue.
Okay,
Yeah.
we just continue. But the beautiful
Yeah.
moment, Mir, his wife, his daughter, all the love of his life, and I know what keeps him active. With so many women around with him in the house, I'm sure he's always go-getting, and I know what the secret of his success is. I think he's again frozen. Uh, Mir, okay, great. Now I was just saying we know the secret of your success. Two women in your life, actually creating all that magic, and that's been truly wonderful. And talking about the beautiful story, all the beautiful things you've been doing. We spoke about the most embarrassing moment. What has been the most memorable moment in your life?
Meeting Amin Sayani in Mumbai. This was at an awards function, and I got to meet my childhood hero. I think that for us, many people who are connected, almost all of us who belong to the radio industry, would cherish a moment like that. And meeting the radio legend in Mumbai was definitely one moment I will always treasure in my life. That is something which I have been waiting for. I was waiting for a long time.
So if I have to say, if Mir was not in showbiz. And when I say showbiz, I mean radio, television, acting, singing, anchoring. If Mir was not in showbiz, what would Mir be in? What would you be doing?
I would be plucking trees from plucking mangoes from a mango tree in Murshidabad. That's where I hail from. I, I belong to a very simple farmer's family, and I would perhaps be pursuing all that um, people would be doing in my village or in my hometown. And I'm very thankful to my parents who kind of brought me up in the city and they gave me an education which many of my contemporaries at that point of time, people from my hometown, would not be able to afford. I mean, studying in a school in the city of Kolkata, would be unimaginable for many of them. Still is, but I got an opportunity, and thankfully, I've made the most of it. So I think all credit goes to my parents that they've been able to bring me up.
Beautiful, beautiful. I cannot imagine Mir, sitting down with lovely mangoes and picking them up. But beautiful moments, beautiful memories, and I think that's what makes each individual where they are today, going through moments in life, going through events in life, and going through the journey in life. So it is each individual who decides, who actually makes his own part once the race starts. And I think you've been a self made person. You've built up your talent. You've discovered your talent. You've reinvented your talent because from a radio to an anchoring, to acting, to television, to serials, to movies, and then something which was unbelievable. No one ever thought Mir would sing, but you even done that. And I really wonder what's left. What's the next thing you have in mind other than all these pockets? Because you've got your five fingers in the pie. Where's the sixth finger going to be going?
The sixth finger would be pointing my own self and disciplining myself more like many others to lead a very, very disciplined life after the lockdown is over. I think all of us need to get back to our work, but with all safety measures taken, we cannot risk our own lives. We cannot risk the lives of our family members. And we have to re strategize, as I was saying right at the beginning of this chat. So right now, my finger is on something very, very soft and sensitive, which is getting back to work after the lockdown.
Kubbalo. You know, it's a lot going to be changing once we all get back to work. The way we work, how we engage, how we interact, how we come across, and maybe broadcast, radio, acting, the way we go about it will get into another dimension altogether. You know,
In fact, Jimmy, since we belong to the same profession, we are entertainers, we are communicators. I think we people who are working in radio, we are still at a reasonably safer zone than many others because our work is mostly confined to the studios where we can still communicate with our listeners. We can play their favorite music. We can take up social issues and discuss them. Vis-a-vis, if you're going to compare the situation with television or films or even anchoring on stage shows, it is looking at a very, very dark tunnel. You do not know when work would resume, when we would be able to get back on stage, and when we would resume our normal day to day activities when it comes to the audiovisual media. Digital looks like a big, big future, but then people have to get used to it. People have to get used to the new ways of digital. Jimmy, what's your opinion on that?
see, I'll tell you, absolutely right. I was in conversation with a gentleman from the US some time ago before this webinar. And, he actually said a very right thing. He said, Jimmy, who knows, maybe for next 2 years, we'll be under the shadow of COVID till a vaccine or
Yeah,
something comes out. Uh, this year, we have to reinvent and discover. And he said one thing very clearly. He's saying, save your money. Don't spend it
absolutely.
uselessly. First thing. He said many people would be out of jobs or there would be salary cuts. There would be trying to wonder what I'm going to do next. But he said one area which you can rediscover yourself is by educating yourself in the digital mode. He said, rediscover, learn in, get into the digital mode. You could be a videographer, you could be a digital marketer, you could be an enhancer. There's so much opportunities there because that is going to be the next thing. So he's saying, don't wait. If you're under lockdown, discover yourself and see how you can come about enlightening yourself in the digital mode because there will be a lot of job opportunities coming up there. So people can move forward. There is a lot of stuff, but he said also one thing: be simple, be down to earth, be human, be kind, and help others, and see what and how society gives back to you. So, there is, if you look at learning, we are going back to our roots. We are
Absolutely.
going back to the simplicity. We are going back into those school days where we were told respect your elders, where we were told respect your fellow being, where we were told to be kind, we were told to help people out, and it's time we do that. Because the only time I feel, we kind of start praying or we kind of run for ourselves is when we are in trouble. Otherwise, we
Yeah.
never do that. Today, why are we wearing masks? Because it's essential. Have you ever thought of wearing a mask around? Never. Sanitizers people are using. They wouldn't even wash their hands twice a day. Only after meals they would wash their hands. Today people are washing their hands 20 times a day. So I feel it's to, get back, time to get back to reality. And yes, it's going to be a tough period, but somewhere or another, I always feel that human beings are positive, are go getting, and across, if you look at the last 100 years, we've always overcome, and I think we are also going to overcome this fight, but it's going to take a little time and
Absolutely.
take a little understanding. And another question, Mir, I know you said get back to work, but there's a question out here coming from Sumit Agarwal. He says, can you enlighten me on the new models of monetization for artists and event managers and people who are going to restart? First of all, events are going to be very tough because there's going to be social distancing.
Yes.
So artists are going to have a very tough time because there are not going to be very many shows, okay, because it's going to be in crowded space. So he's asking a very simple question, which is also a tough question. Can you enlighten me on the new models of monetization? Mr. Agarwal is talking about money for artists and event managers as well. So your thoughts, Mir?
For people who are already established in the field of art and communication, it will also be an uphill task for them because they have to replan and re-strategize ways of communicating. Um, Having said that, the digital world is a very, very enhanced world, and we're all so well connected. But then to make digital solutions for clients also is a two-way street. There are many clients who come in today, and over the last 10 15 days I've been noticing a spurt in the numbers where people are coming in and saying, मुझे कोई एक वीडियो बनाना है, उसको वायरल करना है, कोई कंटेंट ऐसा दीजिए जिससे मैं अपने कस्टमर को रीच आउट कर सकूं, उसको वायरल कर सकूं. I mean, content doesn't become viral just like that. You have to.
Absolutely.
There is no particular formula as such where you kind of apply the formula and your content goes viral. It's a very touch and go situation. You never know when your content goes viral. So let's keep that aside. But what clients need to also understand is that just because everyone's going the digital way, you suddenly feel like you need to jump onto the bandwagon and you jump on, you expect results overnight. This is something which is not going to happen. Digital is more like habit building. People who have been spending crores of money in digital have been reaping benefits over the last few days. They're still going strong. Yes, business has taken a hit. All conventional methods are currently under the scanner, and people are re-strategizing for a very simple reason, is because they would not be able to reach out to their target audience or to their customers in the same way that they were doing a couple of months ago. So clients also need to understand that it's more of a regular habit building process. They should not be expecting overnight results. They should keep at it rather and do collabs with people who already have a strong presence in digital media. That, I think, is the future for us. Most of us artists who are doing work in various fields, whether it's just audio or it's audio visual, would understand that there are avenues which are yet to be explored. And we just have to keep our antenna up and keep working at it. There is no such formula where you hit out at sure methods of monetizing your work, because the monetizing also will have to be in a very gradual process. You will not multiply numbers. Those will not happen right now. They will take some time, and you will have to understand that you have to kind of bear it out for certain periods of time instead of expecting instant results.
Absolutely, Mir, and I remember someone told me it's important, many marketeers, many organizations are saying, no, we will not do anything at the moment till we come and till we find out what exactly is happening. But I think it's important, very, very important. Like someone told me, out of sight is out of mind.
Yeah,
Of engagement is out of sight. It's important for organizations, companies to be on the scene, to start pushing, to ensure whether it be products or services, it should be on top of the mind. Because if it's not on top of the mind, when it comes to that surge of getting things done, that particular product or service will be out of the mind. So I think it's
absolutely.
important, even if budgets are not there, put budgets, small budgets together also, but be there on the scene, be there on the engagement, and be there in the market rather than being totally out of the market and worried कि पता नहीं क्या होने वाला है. Till you make noise, you will not be noticed. If you make noise, you will be seen, heard, and over a period of time, when it comes to great business happening, you guys will be the first movers. But if you all don't move now, it's going to take a longer time for you all to get back into the revolution of good business. So now is the time, I would say, when digital and even radio are mediums where people are turning on to in a big way. Radio
Yes,
listenership across the
has
country
gone up, has
has
gone up in a major
increased
way.
by 86%, which is unbelievable. Means your country, 99% of your country is listening to radio. These are the mediums where you push, where you engage, and you come hearing it on top of the mind. So I think, rightly said, you need to be in it rather than be out of it to be the first mover. And Mir, another question. This is coming from Shubhadeep Nath. Hope everyone is doing well. My question is to Mir. Is I have worked in Radio Milan as a guest audio artist in few of their audio story projects. I would like to start story reading sessions. Can you just give me some basic tips to continue as an audio artist? He has got it in him. He wants to continue. He wants tips from your side.
Keep listening to all kinds of audio stories. Don't just restrict yourself to the vernacular languages. I mean, listen to stuff which is on the web in other languages as well. To begin with, not just Bengali stories. Listen to Hindi stories. Listen to English stories, and then perhaps you can go on exploring other languages as well, which come with subtitles. Listen to the nuances of each language and see how a radio voice or a voiceover artist adjusts to a particular story. Point number two, choose short stories to begin with. Do not go in for something that will exhaust you as a voice. So choose short stories and advertise your work. It's not just about reading out a story or recording a story or just being happy with that. You need to amplify your work and, if possible, uh, do it through somebody's YouTube channel. Or if you think you are in the right capacity to start your own, please go ahead. Your subscriber base, no matter how small it is today, will gradually build up. As I'm saying, habit building is very important for us in this profession. So whether you're performing on stage or you're speaking on the mic or reading out an audio story, uh, habit building is very important. You need to be very regular, you need to be consistent, and you keep going at it and you keep building your subscriber base. I think that is the way forward. And all the very best. Don't give up. Always follow your passion and continue doing what you truly believe so in.
Absolutely. Well, there are a series of questions. Before that, Shoyan is saying your voice over in Sunday Suspense is awesome. Shoyan has
Thank
sent
you.
that message for you. And then
Thank you.
Bibu Nak says, beautiful question. What is the role of humor in a stressful situation like this? How much does it help to cope with this situation? Well, he's asking the king himself.
I think it's very, very important right now. Humor is important to assess situations in various ways. It's like I'll try to connect it. You know, you need to connect humor with your day-to-day activities. For instance,
Mir, you've frozen.
when a public bus, so I'll just
Mir, can you hear me? Wait.
I can hear you, Jimmy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can
There
hear
was
you.
a
Can you hear
network
me now?
suddenly froze. Now I can hear you.
Check. So try humor with your day-to-day situations. There is not a single day, there is not a single moment where you cannot connect humor with. For instance, with this diktat that you will only be allowed 20 at a time on a public bus. take a country of 1.3 billion to maintain that 90 people on a bus at any one point of is like expecting Nirav Modi turning himself at the immigration counter and saying, I want to go back to India. So you need to connect humor in every possible way. And you also need to understand that people will have stressful lives. They will want a lot of laughter. And as they truly say, laughter is the best medicine. You can try that out. It is a very, very important aspect. And if you look at all the platforms which stream content today, the number one genre is comedy.
Absolutely.
Comedy has a major role to play in our lives. And I think people who take up comedy, take up the business of comedy, are actually doing very, very seriously.
Absolutely. And then we got about another question. This is a very nice question coming from Trishita Pradhan saying, good evening. I'm Trishita Pradhan studying in UEM Kolkata. My question is how to motivate oneself in this pandemic situation where I usually lose myself into this situation of isolation and captivity. Made you frozen again. Hi.
I think, yeah,
Yeah, it's okay. Now go ahead.
okay. So, lady
Amir, you're frozen. Your voice is
question.
off. Your voice is off. You're frozen again.
Hello, Jimmy, can you hear me?
It's better. It goes on and off, so not to worry. Go ahead. Mir, can you hear me?
So,
Yeah.
that
Go
question
ahead.
myself down. I am
Mir, hold on. Your voice is out. You're frozen. Hold on. Hold on. Give it about 10 seconds. It may just stabilize back. Give it 10 seconds. It may stabilize back. Are you there, Mir? Mir, uh, I think he will. Yeah, one sec. Mir, you're back again. Hold on.
yeah.
Yeah, great. So, the Trichita's question about motivating herself.
Motivation is a very strong word. I would say start off with small goals. It's like I wake up every morning, and apart from doing my radio show, I put a certain tag on myself that today I will read this particular book. Today I will listen to an old album. Wouldn't play on radio. I don't get an opportunity to play on radio. I would listen to that album. I would listen to that music. Uh, Maybe I would write something creative. So set yourself one line at a time for every single day. Sometimes you might not even be able to scribble a single line. That's absolutely fine. The fact that you made the effort, you took an effort to get down to writing down something is more than enough. Whether you achieved it is not very important. The fact that you put that effort is what is important here. In that case, do not stagnate. Do not stagnate. Do not hold yourself. Try motivating yourself in various ways.
Amazing. We have a lot of questions, but I think we will take just one more question, Mir. Saying, what is your advice at this stage to
Yeah.
the younger people who are going to join the industry post COVID-19? What should they be expecting, and how would they, and what they did to get ready for the change? What should they do to get ready for the change?
Most companies will not be employing people right now. And sad but true, people are offloading employee strength, and they are going into pay cuts. They are going into cessation of terms in uh, uh, various companies. So corporates are taking a big hit right now. Having said that, this is the time to create and co-create your own stuff and put it up on digital space. Do not wait for anyone to give you a platform. Rather, do it yourself. You have opportunities, ample scope in digital media. use the AI to your best possible advantage and try putting up your creative work all by yourself. Do not expect instant results. It's a complete wait and watch policy. Do whatever you create and just hope for better times after the COVID-19 crisis is reasonably steady for people to get in touch with you and maybe take it forward from there.
Mir, that's been truly amazing. And I'd like you, in this interaction and in this conversation, your message to everybody who's in this adda, I would say, as well as everybody who's watching you on YouTube right now. What message would you like to give across to the world and to people at this CMA webinar, which is happening, where we are engaging in a conversation and so many things have come about? Your message, Mir.
Work will resume. After a certain point of time, work will resume. We will all get our jobs. We will all get back to our workspaces. There will be a time where you will again hug your colleagues. But for the moment, it's about patience. And I think patience is one very strong form of action where you practically don't do anything. You just stay by the situation. You just watch it out. You just keep with it and do not lose your mental sanity. This is something which is very important. Many of us are suffering from mental health due to this lockdown period. It's all about remotivating yourself, recharging yourself, like you charge your mobiles, charging yourself. Keep taking your vitamin P capsules, where P stands for positivity, something or the other which makes you feel happy, which makes positive. Keep doing that and help motivate others as well. You don't need to advertise or broadcast that. It happens from your action. The happier you are, the merrier you are, the stronger you are. It affects people all around you. And I think that is something which we all need to keep going and keep doing. There will be better times. There will be times where we will get back to our normal workspaces. But till then, we just have to hold on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mir. That was amazing. So I think, the mantra is be positive, be go getting, be patient, be happy. Because if you're happy, people around you will be happy. Spread the smiles because
Yep.
I think together, all of us can make it happen. And the mantra is always together, we can overcome. Thank you so much, Mir. Now I would like to hand over to Mr. Amitabh Datta for his comments and words. Mr. Amitabh Datta, the president of CMA. Sir, over to you.
Meir and Jimmy, thank you very much for being with us today. Uh, I think it's been great. I mean, having you
Thank you.
with us, both of you, is a great experience because you revel in the art of communication, revel in the art of uh, making people smile, entertaining people,
Thank you.
and today you were particularly good in the sense that you came from the heart. You're speaking exactly what you feel. Your words of wisdom, within quotes, were extremely well. I think it was very well thought out, well delivered. But, I mean, you spoke on behalf of all of us. I mean, that's what we are all passing through reasonably difficult times, to say the least. But we are all very sure that these things will pass, and then we will be back to where we were. And we just have to keep ourselves going, motivated, learn new things, try and do things that you haven't done before. You thought you'd do, but never could go down to doing it. Uh, and hopefully, we will all come out stronger uh, after this period is over. Well, thank you very much once again, Jimmy and Meir. I'm sure
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Meir will have you once again sometime or the other in some other forum. But thank you once again, and thank you the audience who are here today. I think I surely hope you had a great time, just as I have had. And thank you once again, and good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Good night. Thank you, Mir, once again. Thank you, everybody,
Thank you, Jimmy.
joining us. Really a pleasure and looking forward to more conversations, more discussions across from the heart. Thank you, Mir, once again. Thank you and
Thanks,
God
Jimmy.
bless.
Take care.
Good night,
Thanks.
everybody.
Good night.